we know cigarettes and the results of smoking cigarettes have destroyed homes across the world. But we also know that it's disproportionate, like almost every other statistic, in African American communities. And I know, coming from that community, that it's easy to pick up bad habits, and it's twice as hard to shake them. My name is Cameron. I am the creator and owner at BlaCk OWned Outerwear, Black Coffee Lounge, and I am an inspiration artist. My whole life I've dedicated myself to doing things that typically would be considered challenging or almost impossible to do, to show people that's coming after me that it can be done. And through inspiration, other people start their journey. As I get older, I've learned that like all of my entire life has played a part in this move to create this brand. You don't necessarily realize it along the way, but in retrospect, you understand like, oh yeah, like what was happening. Like growing up in the hood, wanting more for myself, seeing that the jobs were never sufficient to like provide for the household that I was in. So even though my mom worked multiple jobs, she always seemed stressed about finances. So from a young age, I never really saw having a job as an attractive thing or something that I looked to do when I got older. I always wanted to be a creator, even from a young age, to like control my own destiny. So I lived in New Orleans for about 1.5 years. And luckily for me, New Orleans is a place of rich culture and ownership, small businesses. So I got that. I got that while I was there, and I wanted to bring that culture. Like when you in a place like New Orleans, the identity is there. Like if you were to ask somebody, what is New Orleans, what it feels, they can probably break it down to a T. The feelings, the uniqueness of being in a space like that. If you ask that same question about Cincinnati, you couldn't. We don't really have a culture. Specifically, Black culture isn't identifiable here. So I wanted to bring that piece that was in New Orleans back home. So I moved back home with this idea that I would create something. But it would be dope, but it would also be representation for all the things that I experienced while at Miami, being the only African American in all of these spaces. I wanted people to feel empowered through whatever creation that was. Because I wanted this ownership side, I realized what I could be. I thought in order to have that success that I had to become more white and less black, but it was just the opposite, you know. But it took me a minute to get in that bag, like to really have that confidence. I never wanted to lose ownership again in nothing I did. I wanted to do it in my full blackness, and I wanted to never feel like I had to let that go in order to be accepted. And that's what BlaCk OWned was about from its origin, of having ownership of self as a Black person. Working with Quit Culture was easy because it was just like one of those things where we could promote something positive. We know that people are actively struggling who want to quit. I think for the most part, if I'm around someone who's smoking a cigarette, they're usually saying, I'm trying to quit. So this project just was one of those things that made sense to us, knowing that we could use our brand and our page, our influence to help people get over that hump, because we know people want to quit, they just don't know how to. We try to do things that align with our brand mission. So promoting Black excellence and promoting Black ownership and Black culture and the richness in it, it goes bigger than just spending money with each other. It's also about like the quality of life. It's about how we live our lives, like, and we know, that cigarettes and the results of smoking cigarettes have destroyed homes across the world. But we also know that it's disproportionate, like almost every other statistic in African American communities. And I know, coming from that community, that it's easy to pick up bad habits and it's twice as hard to shake them. One of my things that just drive me is just being out in a car and just seeing someone smoking a cigarette in the car with some minor. Someone who can't speak for themselves, a 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and that happens to a lot of us as we kids. I went through it as a kid. Like, the older people in your family, they're gonna smoke, you don't have a say-so. So I wanted to come to this campaign and turn that into something. And hopefully that there's something that we're doing in this campaign, or just seeing us that we're a part of it. Hopefully that motivates somebody, you know what, I saw my favorite brand, I'm gonna try this out and try the smoke challenge. That's what we want people to do, is enroll into the challenge. Don't look at it as the day that I finally am done. Look at it as just the day that I'm deciding that I'm gonna start. And it's a one day at a time process. I've never had to quit smoking, thankfully. But I hear it's a hard challenge, but how can anything be harder than you? Tougher than you? So that's my advice.